So we talk about a lot of what's wrong with boys, right? And when we have these conversations, it's important for us to understand also what they need to thrive. So we've talked about violence, we've talked about the misogyny, the anger, and what we don't do is talk about enough of what boys need. At this point in time, all boys are in trouble, right? And one of my quotes is, Mama's looking for daddy, daddy's looking for mama. The kids need them both, and all they get is drama. So today I'm going to share with you just a few steps, 6 things maybe, of what boys need, right? Uh, First, I want to make it clear that boys are not born violent. They're not born hating women. And they're not broken by default. But we forget that there are a lot of things they need at the beginning. And these are the things that breaks them, turns them into these things that we're seeing today in men, husbands, and fathers. So, again, today I'm going to share with you what boys need. As I was researching continuously over the years, one of the first things I recognized is boys need love, and it doesn't come with conditions, right? A lot of you talk about the man up, you talk about the tough love and real love, the kind of love that makes room for them for emotional context, where they could fail and not be left to the wolves, where you can be soft and understanding, right? We have to understand that boys are fed a lot of negative messages, right? And they see what's happening to men, husbands, and fathers. I believe this is one of the areas why boys 5 to 11, number one in suicide, is because of what they see. We don't give boys enough credit of what they're seeing. And we're not talking one boy, we're talking across the board, all boys, right? We know that there are a number of crimes that occur when these boys become men and prior to, right? So, boys are often left with emotion. See, if you keep giving them emotion. I was sharing this with a room full of parents the other day, that your sons will give you exactly what you want. If you want emotion, your son will give it to you. If you want hate, your son will give it to you. If you want anger, your son will give it to you. Boys use these things to manipulate. And so if you're not in a position to give them healthy tools, these are the things they will give you. The second thing is boys need literacy. And we're not just talking about reading books, we're talking about the comprehension, the knowledge that you gain from reading the books, and the understanding of what you read and the words that you need, right? Too many boys, they can't express the way that they feel because they've not been taught the language for it. That's huge. That's huge. And you see it consistently. You see it in schools, you see it in classrooms, you see it at homes, you see it in the grocery stores. So you have to be able to teach your sons Um, words. Why? Literacy is power. So once I learn what this word means, I can tell you what this means. Ladies, this is where you're having problems in your relationships with a lot of men. Also, this is an area where you have problems because you assume that the boy, the man, the husband, or the father doesn't have the same level of understanding. And men have a different type of wisdom, and we have to be able to teach that to our sons, right? It is foolishness when we don't know. That's what we call ignorance, which is absence of truth. But in more cases than not, our boys don't have enough words, so it's hard for them to express. Um, Literacy is everything, uh, but it also helps them process, excuse me, it also helps them process what they're going through. So this is another area that can be prevented, to use as prevention of suicide, self-doubt, these areas. So boys need literacy. Number 3, boys have to play. Over the year, I say back in 2008, I was at Texas Southern University, and I was speaking and I was sharing how important it is for children, boys, to be able to play. Development, right? We are always yelling and screaming about the frontal cortex lobe. We are always yelling and screaming about how the diet of sitting is a problem. But what we tell our boys, sit down, shut up. Some parents have used video gaming as a tool to keep the boy silent. This is destruction, hands down. You have to understand that the boy must play. He must jump, he must run, he must fall, which is one of the reasons why in our mentoring program, exercise is mandatory. Our boys, 8, 9 years old, must be doing 100 push-ups. They have to run. Like, we get that brain and that body lining up, because it's important, because the boy needs to fall. We all were young boys who hopped the fence, got stitches. One of my stories was I wore the bottom of my Chuck Taylors out that my uncle bought me. I had a red pair of Chuck Taylors. And this is how long it had an impression on me. I wore those shoes, had a hole in the bottom. I got stitches playing kickball. And then I tried out for the basketball team. In those same shoes, I put a cardboard to cover the hole. I played a whole season in those Chuck Taylors with a hole in the bottom as a 7th grader who was completely out of shape, but loved the game of basketball. So boys have to run, climb, and create. Allow your boys to do so. That's very important. Do not leave your boys sitting idly by. My mother used to say that all the time. That's fine. Right? Now, boys need models, not just warnings, right? A lot of you tell your sons what to do. A lot of you parents, you talk for your sons, right? Which goes back to the literacy, because the kid doesn't have freedom to speak or free will to speak on their own. You're speaking for them. I see this all the time. You ask them a question and you as a parent are answering it. That is doing too much, and they need models, healthy models. They need to see what healthy masculinity looks like. So finding programs where there are men. Our secret sauce is we use nothing but fathers. Why? It takes 12 mentors to equal one father, right? There's a book out there called Boys Crisis by Dr. Warren Farrell. You should get it in any book with Dr. Kawanja Kajufu. These are books that you should get when you have boys. No question. Healthy masculinity shows that men shows care. Um, we have the model. You're looking for the model of the bad guy. And since Fonzie is no longer around as the tough guy, now all the movies show you these tough guys who get away with all these crimes, and at the end of the movie, he walks away as the hero. That's not really how this thing works, right? If you commit a crime, you have to go to jail. So healthy masculinity must be modeled in front of your son. Find an uncle, grandfather, father. You got to have these father figures for the son. But here's the key to that. You must value the boy in order to value the man, in order to value the husband, in order to value the father. We are doing way too much and teaching way too much emotion to the boy. Healthy masculinity in front of the boy is very, very important. And it shouldn't be taken lightly, the types of examples that are in front of our sons, grandsons, nephews, boys. All boys need healthy examples. We like to think that only, we look at the situation with males. If you can really take a clean look at it, a lot of damage is happening at the beginning. Divorce is destruction also for boys as well as girls. But when the boy loses his father, it does something to him. The daughter, it does something to her as well. But we need to shape the boy, so we have to have balance for our sons and daughters. The last piece to that healthy masculinity is when you find healthy masculinity, we respect all. We respect women. We respect girls. Like, it's a balance for healthy masculinity. So remember that when you're looking for a program to put your child in. You don't want to have your son exposed to complete and utter foolishness. Number 5, community, not isolation. Boys who feel invincible will do anything to be seen. I've been saying this for years. Even if it means acting out or lashing out, belonging is not optional. The reason why you have gangs, this is one of the reasons why you have gangs. They need a community. It's another reason why you have sororities and fraternities. They need a gang, right? That's a gang. There's another reason why you have to have more than one person in government. It's a gang. What you are watching and witnessing right now is the reduction of coming together, because it's easier to control individuals than it is a group. Remember that. Remember that what I just said. It's easier to control individuals than it is groups. And that is why the concern around our boys in the community, football teams, sports, things like that, groups. Boys have to have that, and it has to be active and full of action, right? Because that's what we need, right? To build testosterone, mental fortitude, resiliency. These are things that you need. So you need a healthy community, not isolation. I grew up, there were men everywhere. When my mother and father divorced, I had men everywhere who took us under their wing. This is one of the reasons why I give back. It's because I had healthy men. They wasn't knocking on my mother's door trying to sleep with my mother. It wasn't. That wasn't the case at all. Right? So community has to be healthy. Where you find thriving communities, men and fathers are there. Women, you have to pay attention to how you're addressing boys, because then it transfers over to how you address men. And then it turns over to how you address husband. And so you can't get what you're looking for in these mentalities of how we see males. So you're speaking your own failure in your relationships because you are preemptive in how you're talking to the boy, and you believe that that's okay, and that's not okay. And respect is a huge thing. And your boys are being shaped in protection. And while you're yelling and screaming about men don't protect, it's because you're not allowing that boy to shape his protection as a child. Boys are very protective. And when they have healthy guidance, they become protective men, husbands, and fathers. This is where your heroes are. They're not in these places where people talk to you crazy and call you all out your name. I could never see myself calling the woman that I love a bitch. That's just not going to happen. I could never talk to the woman that I love and call her, all these crazy names. That's a lack of vocabulary. You have to have more words to address and to be able to communicate a healthy relationship. Number 6, I say this all the time, and this is very important, parents, for you to understand. Very important. We can't parent boys like problems to solve. Boys must be raised with love. Now, love is action. Love is not all that emotion. Don't you know I love you? Come here, baby. All of that. That is only going to lead him down the wrong path. You can't have your son sitting on your lap all the time. It's okay for you to nurture. You can't do everything for your son. He has to be raised. The boy must be raised. God put something in us. This is why men feel bad when they can't provide. If you over nurture, you suffocate that process. So then this is why you have men in the house that can't do anything. Its only tool is, you find him, he might be drug use. You find him, he can't cook. You find that he can't, because at the boy, he wasn't being raised. He was being nurtured. And he has to have a balance, just like any other child. This is why the father is so important. In that boy is the seed of a man, husband, and a father. And he must be raised just like you would any other seed. It has to be raised. It has to be flowered. That boy has to be flowered with knowledge and words and understanding. He has to be flowered by wisdom, wise men who carry themselves appropriately. He must be raised by a community that values him, right? We see all the time, as we were talking about, what these boys see, they will do. If I only see myself on the news, if I only see myself as an athlete, but I never see myself as any of these other great things that we see other men as, if I only see myself in poverty, if I only see myself as a failure, if I only see myself as a no good person, if I only see myself as a weak person, what I'm doing is I'm shaping the evils, and I'm not shaping the seed for what God wants best from us. Boys must be raised, period. And you have to stop doing everything for the boy. Let him thrive in his learning, in his falling. Now, while listening, it's one of the reasons why when the father says stop, that's different. It's a trigger in his system that he knows it's different. As good as a mother as my mom was, I had uncles, neighbors, coaches, mentors, opportunity. So those are the 6 things that I wanted to give you. You can enhance those things by applying encouragement when you get just a little bit. So if you like this message, please share with parents who are raising boys. Like and subscribe to our METV channel. This Boys Matter conversation will continue. Again, visit emmyapparel.com. Support us the best way that you can. And never forget, right, that the boy must become a man in order to become a husband, in order to become a father. Give our boys order and healthy men and masculinity and options. Do not sit your son down. Love him with action. My name is Dr. Kelvin T. Mann. I truly appreciate your time. Thank you for tapping in today. Peace.